So you think you know thrillers? Guess again. I'm about to go through and talk about 11 amazing books with you today. Now, these aren't your normal thrillers. These are edge of your seat, heart pounding, page turning, questioning everything type of thrillers. So grab a seat, stay tuned, because these aren't just any thrillers. These are the ones you absolutely need to read. First up, we're starting with a classic, The Godfather. This book is much more than a mafia story. It's about power, loyalty, family, corruption, and what it means to lead. Don Vito Corleone isn't just a crime boss. He's the master of controlling a world that most of us wouldn't survive a day in. And then there's Michael. His transformation from innocent son to ruthless leader is fantastic. If you haven't read this yet, you're missing out on the blueprint for almost every modern crime thriller. This book's intricate depiction of a mafia and its inner workings, coupled with complex, morally gray characters like Michael Corleone, make this a defining work in crime fiction. Now let's jump into something a little darker. We have The Fourth Monkey by J.D. Barker. This book gets under your skin from page one. This book is about a serial killer known as 4MK, who doesn't just kills his victims, he tortures his victims' families in the most twisted kind of ways. When the killer dies in an accident, a detective named Sam Porter discovers a diary that might help him prevent another murder that's already set in motion. That's when things really start getting wild in this book. What makes this thriller stand out is the way it dives into the mind of a killer, and you won't see the twist coming. The unique framing of the killer's diary entries offers really a chilling insight into the mind of a serial killer, blending psychological depth with intense pacing. Next, we have The Defense by Steve Kavanaugh, and this one is like a fast paced action movie in book form. This book revolves around Eddie Flynn, a former con artist turned lawyer who was forced to defend a mafia boss in court while a bomb is strapped to his back. They also have his daughter held hostage. So now Eddie must use his wits and his legal expertise to outsmart the criminals and survive. This type of thriller creates a gripping, high stakes legal thriller with plenty of twists. This is fantastic read. I highly recommend reading The Defense by Steve Kavanaugh. Next, we have Karen Slaughter's False Witness, which is one of the most intense psychological thrillers you're ever gonna read. Lee Caller is forced to confront her horrifying past when a wealthy client who knows her darkest secrets demands she represent him in court. This book digs deep into trauma, guilt, survival, and it hits so hard. The psychological depth of the characters is what makes this thriller unforgettable and sets it apart from all others. This is top tier psychological thriller. So this book broke the internet when it came out, and for good reasons. The Silent Patient has one of the most shocking twists ever. This book revolves around Alicia Berenson, an artist who shoots her husband and then goes completely silent. Theo Faber, a psychotherapist becoming obsessed with uncovering the truth behind her silence, only to find unexpected revelations, and nothing is what it seems. This is one of those thrillers that you'll want to talk about with everyone after you finish, because that twist ending is a show stopper. This is top tier psychological thriller mystery. If you have not read The Silent Patient, you need to go out and read it immediately. This book should be top TBR. Next, let's talk about worst case scenario, and this one is a roller coaster. A pilot has a heart attack at 35,000 feet, causing a plane to nosedive into a nuclear power plant in a very small community. This book is going to make your heart race, and you're going to feel pressure for every single decision that's made by the characters. If you love high stakes, tense thrillers, this one 100% is going to be for you. It is nail biting, tension filled, emotionally depth with electrifying, heart racing adrenaline thriller. You are not want to miss out on worst case scenario. Riley Sager brings all the gothic vibes with the only one left. The story revolves around Kit, a caregiver who is assigned to look over Lenora Hope, who might have murdered her whole family. Lenora is mute. She does not go through and talk to anyone. But as she starts going through and feel comfortable with Kit, she decides to go through and start typing out the truth. And the mystery of her family's death unfolds. But nothing is quite as it seems. The eerie mansion and secrets and the atmosphere makes this a haunting thriller. Riley Sager blends gothic elements with a layered mystery, and a setting of decaying mansion adds to the eerie atmospheric tone. This is a edge of your seat thriller that you are not going to want to miss. Next, we have Past Tense by Lee Child. This is hands down the best Jack Reacher book to date. And in this story, Jack Reacher's personal history is just as dangerous as the enemies he's going through and facing. When Jack stops in a small town to learn about his father, he uncovers a dark secret. Meanwhile, a young couple is in danger and Reacher has to step in to go through and help. This is a mix of Reacher's personal quest with a tense, suspenseful, parallel storyline showcasing Lee Child's knack for pacing and action-packed storytelling. This is so well written and highly, highly recommended. Next, we have Savage Son by Jack Carr. Savage Son is a brutal, high-stakes thriller. It revolves around former Navy SEAL James Reese, who is hunted by a Russian oligarch's son, and it turns into a deadly game of cat and mouse. This story dives into the primal instincts of hunting and survival. Jack Carr's realistic depiction of military tactics and survival skills combined with the intense personal vendetta at the heart of the story makes it a gripping, fast-paced, action-thrilled read. If you love military thrillers, this is a must read. Next, we have Legacies by F. Paul Wilson. Repairman Jack is one of the most unique characters in thrillers, and in Legacies, he's hired to recover a stolen item. But things start spiraling into conspiracy involving powerful forces with a mix of crime, horror, and sci-fi. This book is hard to pin down, but impossible to forget. Jack's ability to operate outside the law makes every moment unpredictable. He is a unique character as a fixer who operates outside the law, along with the mix of supernatural and crime elements, gives this book a distinct feel within the thriller genre. This one is so much fun, and I highly, highly recommend Legacies by F. Paul Wilson. Finally, let's go through and talk about 1 Second After. This post-apocalyptic thriller explores what happens when an EMP wipes out all electronics in the US, leaving people to fend for themselves. The story revolves around John Matherson, a college professor who must go through and protect his family as society is going through and collapsing. The novel's realistic portrayal of the immediate and long-term consequences of an EMP strike, including the details, depiction of how quickly society unravels, creating a sobering and thought-provoking narrative. The focus on human resilience, leadership, and community survival in the face of unimaginable adversity is what makes this novel stand out in the genre. It is terrifyingly realistic depiction of how fragile our modern society is amazing. So if you're into survival thrillers, this one is a must read. So there you have it, 11 thrillers that will keep you hooked from start to finish. So whether you're into psychological twist or heart-pounding action, there was something on that list for you. Comment and let me know your must-read thrillers. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe. You know what to do. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.